I always, Scott Cole, I tell somebody I had music every Friday and Saturday night. You can remember that.
Right.
And it didn't cost the town a penny.
Right.
I got out and raised it, but I had people like Jim Ramey. I had the two banks at the time,
Right.
Ray Dotson and Rhodes Brown. And I'd go to Rhodes and he'd say, "How much Ray gonna give you?" And I'd go, "Ray, how much?" So I'd say, what's, the Tazewell was always so supportive of me. So it wasn't me. I had the support. And,
Right.
Don Dunford, and bless his heart, I killed that, but he wanted to name this little stretch of road out to Pizza Hut and out through there. That was my baby right there, getting that done. And he wanted to name that little stretch of road the Jerrywood Highway or something. I said, I don't want anything named that. He even went to council, and one of them called and asked me about it. And I said, no, I don't want my name on it.
Right.
I really don't.
I really, I like Don. I mean, I think, and Jack Harry would do anything for me. That he just absolutely was so accommodating. And Jim Ramey, I met with him a bunch on stuff and talked to him, and just seemed like it. And I believe that we've lost kings. These are kings. If you take a look at them, think about this, Jerry. Think about this. How many people have put their kids in college that work for Ramey Chevrolet? The people, now every dollar, and I know you probably, every dollar, payroll dollars, worth $7 to a community.
Exactly. Yep.
So when you think about the money,
very true.
The money and the people that went to school, that have bought their houses, that worked at those jobs, those are kings that we had in this land.
I bought my first car. Well, I told you I went off to Radford, worked a couple of years, saved my money, didn't spend a penny till I could buy a car. Bought a brand new '69 Camaro, and Jim Ramey did the deal. He was doing his own deals then, and he said, "I'm going to give you a deal, but when you finish college, I want you to go back and finish college. Then come back and work for me." And to the time he died, he was still trying to hire me. And when he bought the Ford place out here, he was town manager then. And he came and I said, "Well, Jim, he said, "Well, I got a purpose for coming here." He said, he was 72. He said, "I've just gone in debt $4 more million." He said, "I bought the Ford place." I said, "Jim, you got how you gonna get all the people to man it?" He said, "Well, that's why I'm here. One more time, I'd like to hire you. I can teach you the car business so fast. You can take over." I said, "Jim, I don't want to be in the car business. I like my weekends." But I love Jim Ramey.
I think about kings in our land, and I think about where those are coming from now. And I know they probably are that I don't know about. Okay, but I don't know. I think about those things. One thing I've done with my children, I've done this several years ago. I any property I had or anything I had, I divided it up and gave it to them. I said, because at this point in your mom and I's life, we're not going to leave you anything. We're going to spend all of our money. Okay, we're going to spend it. I mean, we're going to travel. We're going to spend it. We're going to enjoy it. I'm giving you so you don't have to worry about anything being left. If we owe money on the camper we got, y'all can decide if you want to pay it off. If one of you want it, I said, but we're going to do. House I live in, I gave to my son and my daughter-in-law. They cut the grass and take care of it. But at the point in my life, we sort of, I don't know, and I know we can say, well, that's you're not being ambitious. Well, you can take it however you want to, but I don't know. I want, to me, to sit down, to be able to have time and resources to sit down with you and record history. See, I believe this is history. Because I look back on the interview I did with my grandfather in 1992, when I sit down with my grandfather, John Dash.
I knew John Dash.
Sit down with him in a little studio in War, West Virginia that was 8 foot by 10 foot. And I had a 2x4s on the wall and material from the dollar store, and I went down and got graveyard flowers from the dollar store and stapled them to the wall, made a background. And me and him sit there in his work uniform and done interviews. History. So to me, the success of my life right now is to be able to sit down with people like you and talk about
there are several people that are pushing me to write a book because I've had so many, retired 4 times. just taking a full-time job again. But, there's people that says, you need to write a book about your experiences and even about your football refereeing. I mean, that would,
Gee.
that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll live long enough to write a book, but there's an attorney there in Bluefield. Every time he sees me, he says, "Have you started that book yet?"
Yeah. Do you remember Bob Smallwood? You know Bob Smallwood?
Yes.
Me and Bob and I have sat down and interviewed Bob a couple times so far. Okay, and
Is he still alive?
Yeah, Lord, yeah. And come through cancer, come through all kinds of stuff.
I know.
Just
I got out of touch when I moved to Knoxville.
He just is, sharp as a tack. Okay, we just sit down and talk about. But I mean, we talk about history and things that where he grew up at and in his life, and I think about people like that I don't know, maybe nobody will care, but I swear I believe they will.
I called Bob Smallwood one time. I had one of my best friends I don't know if you ever knew him, over in Grundy, superintendent of schools, Paul Hatfield.
No.
So Paul was turning 50 years old. And I called Bob Smallwood. How he wished people happy birthday.
Right.
And I told him, I said, now, Paul Hatfield's got a birthday coming up. And I said, he's 50. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to wish him happy 62nd birthday.
Oh.
So he made such a big deal. And Paul Hatfield called and he says, I don't know how you did it, but I know you or Bo Adair had something to do with that. So, I knew him. I didn't know if he's still alive or not.
Yeah, boy, he's doing
he's
good.
had some trouble.
Yeah, married to a real nice woman, and this nice, and he just absolutely, he's my friend. Always been my friend, Bob has. I mean, he's my friend.
Well, whatever happened to Sister Sheila?
Sheila Stanley?
Stanley.
Bobby
And
yeah, they're doing good. They do.
She used to interview me a lot when I was mayor.
Absolutely.
And when I put the mini park in.
I've got the interviews.
Oh, really? I'd love to see those sometime.
I've got them archived.
I'd love to see it.
On the road again. We done those.
On the road again.
Yeah, I got them. Sheila works down there for WLFG for Mike now. Mike
Abingdon?
Smith. Uh-huh.
Okay.
She's been working with him for years now.
Okay. I just wonder if they were.
Her and Bobby doing good. And
Bobby was from over in the county.
Oh, yeah. Bobby is the county. Okay, I mean, you can't cut him and make him and Sheila. I've tried to get them in for an interview. I've tried to get some things in, and I told them they need to admit a lot of stuff while they're still alive. And I kid them a lot, but Lord, I've known.
I didn't know if they were still alive.
Yeah, boy, doing good.
Good, that's great.
Bobby's tough as nails.
She interviewed me, 30 years ago?
Yeah, I've got interviews.